Hello. To this time we are looking at word problems. So the first page we're looking at direct. Remember that sometimes your word problems will tell you that it's direct variation and sometimes it won't. And there's an example of kind of both here. Either way, if it does not tell you if it's direct or inverse, think about the process that we do. Direct, both categories will increase or decrease together. Right? If it's inverse, as one goes up, the other goes down. So think about this. Like for this first example, Rajani practices the piano 840 minutes in 3 weeks. Assuming she practices the same amount every week, how many minutes would she practice in 4 weeks? So if you're looking at more weeks, you're looking at more minutes. So then we know that this would be direct. Remember, when we're using direct, we're using y equals kx. In this case, typically whatever is double listed is what I consider the x, which means that my other category is the y. You can do it the other way, it just makes it a little bit trickier when it comes to your solving. So that's a personal preference thing. I prefer that whatever category happens twice is my x. So then my y equals k times x. I need to find my k. So 840 divided by 3 gives me 280 for my k. So if we're looking at 4 weeks, I have my new y, which I don't know yet, equals my k times my new x, and it's just like what you did on your delta math. 280 times 4 would give you 1120 minutes. Most likely you're just going to be typing in the number part of this. Right? So if it doesn't tell you if it's direct or inverse, think about what type of categories you're looking at here, and if they increase together, then it would need to be direct. If they increase opposite, like one increases, one decreases, it's inverse. For the second type here, this looks weird because it's a table, but it's really not as terrifying as it is. It doesn't matter which set you pick here. You could pick the first set, second set, or third. Either should give you the same. This one tells you it's direct. I'm just going to pick the middle because it doesn't matter which one we pick here. So it's direct, so I do y equals kx. This is my x, this is my y. So my y is 770.4, my k is 18. So if I divide that in the calculator, 770.4 divided by 18, I get 42.8. So then for 49 gallons, this is my new x, y equals 42.8 times 49. And I would have my answer. For our inverse, typically inverse tells you that it's varying inversely. Both of these do, but again, think about whatever it tells you because sometimes you have to sort through otherwise. If we're doing inverse, we're doing y equals k over x or xy equals k. Honestly, I think xy equals k is a little easier. You're also welcome to use the delta math method where you kind of set them equal to each other in the beginning, but that's fine. I'll show you both of those on this problem and you can determine which one you prefer. So if we're doing xy equals k, I'm going to label one category x and one y. It really doesn't matter here as long as you're being consistent. So 45 times 112 equals our k. 45 times 112 gives me 5,040. So I have my new x. So 80 times y equals my k. And I divide. and I get 63 minutes. Again, if you prefer to do it kind of all in one step, how it's set up on Delta Math is you do x times y equals x times y, and you just kind of combine it all in one. So it would be 45 times 112 equals 80 times y. If you notice at this point, it's the exact same process we did here. It's just a little bit simpler in the beginning. But if you look at that and you're like, I don't know where these numbers came from and why they're there, this is probably not the method for you. Okay. So same process, it's just a little bit simpler in the setup here and then solve down. So for the second type here, we're looking at length and width being inversely proportional. So we have our length of 3 and our width of 65. So if we do 3 times 65, we get 195 for our K. Then we have our 15 times our new Y equals 195, and we just have to divide. And we'd get 13